Hello and welcome to Theology on Tap. Now, I don't know where I'm somewhere in Southern California, and I came across this rock formation. It's beautiful. It's awesome, isn't it? Now, I took a little trip with my wife and my kids for the last few days, and we decided to go up to Seattle. All right, and spend some time there, Mount Rainier and everything, and along the way see all the sites like Redwood. Go stop by Oregon, Crater Lake, Lake Tahoe, the whole deal. We decided to do that. And when, like a week and a half ago, when I saw the forecast of Seattle, and of course it said rain, 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 rain. And that was kind of disappointing because my wife and my kids never been to state of Washington. And I told them rain would be nice because it never rains here in Southern California. So let's just enjoy the best we can. But it turns out everywhere we went, it was sunny. Everywhere we went was sunny. And so my wife kept on saying, well, that's what I wanted. You know, that was the desire of my heart, she says. And she said, you know, and God gives us the desires of our heart, right? And it's true that maybe God followed us to make sure that it never rained. That's what she'd like to think. But what I said to her was, my desire is to win a lotto and get a lot of money so that I don't have to, so we could be established in life, you know. And then my son chimed in and said, Dad, maybe that's what you want in life, but maybe that's not the desires of your heart, and that's why God's not giving it to you. And who knows, but I thought that was very smart, right? Maybe it is. And I thought about it, and I talked to my son about it afterwards. Yeah, maybe it is not the desires of my heart, you know. And if we don't get ourselves away from the busy things of life and just kind of reflect upon life, like I was able to do for the last few days, maybe we don't even know what the desires of our heart is. You know, we know what we want because the world has taught us what we want. If you look around it, I didn't make it to Seattle like I wanted to because I heard there were some protests and a lot of places were locked down and whatnot. So I said, forget that. Because the world wants certain things. They're not established in their life. The world thinks something has to be done. You know, new rules to be made. And there's so many things people are complaining about. But what I realized during the trip was that, you know, maybe if we were to put our minds away from all the complaints that the world has, but to really seek the desires in our heart, love, joy, peace, and relationships with God and our family and friends, and something that really, you know, put smile in our faces, put smile in our hearts, ease in our hearts, you know. And maybe then, if we were to really search ourselves, maybe this whole world peace and equality and injustice or justice, maybe that's not what we really desire. Maybe that's what we want in our heads, but maybe it is not. Because if we want all these things, then we should, I don't know, create a way or find a way to find solutions, but we can't find solutions. We've been fighting the same fight for as long as I've been alive. You know, the global warming, we've been fighting that, the smog and equality. We've been fighting it with rules and regulations that are put in. And I don't know, to be honest, my kids are experiencing things a lot worse than when I was growing up here back in the 70s and 80s. So maybe our heart or mind wants certain things, but the way to do it is to just experience life in a way we could just, you know, get to know one another and to be kind to one another. I was thinking about Mary and Martha. When Martha was so busy preparing food and things for the guest, Mary was sitting by Jesus Christ and just enjoying the Word of God, you know, enjoying the conversation. Maybe that's what we need. You know, look, during this little I guess travel road trip from Southern California going up, right? We visited places that that was just amazing. Seeing things that I haven't seen in a long time. But it was the people. When I was up in Mount Rainier, I stayed at a cabin that was owned by a Ukrainian family. And it had this restaurant that was Ukrainian restaurant. I never had Ukrainian food before, but they served soup and main dishes that was Ukrainian. I forgot what it's called. But it was excellent. And I was able to have a nice conversation with them. I stopped by a place in Oregon that was, the city was established in the late 1800s. And it still looked like 1800s over there. All the buildings are from early 1900s. And right in the smack middle of it was this Thai restaurant, right? And so we went in. You couldn't eat inside, but we ordered the food. And after the food, we ate. We actually went back in to tell this Thai owner it was one of the best food that we ever had. You know, better than the Thai restaurants from where I live in LA. And it was just amazing. Everywhere you go, you meet different people. And when you meet them, be kind to one another. And it was just really, really good. Maybe instead of trying to think about problems and how to fix it, maybe we should look within our heart to see what is really important so we could really practice it, you know? To be sitting at the foot of Jesus and listening to the comforting words of Jesus Christ so that we could learn to not worry about things, you know? And I know there are like optimistic people, especially on YouTube, that talks about, you know, all the things you could do to relax your mind to everything. But if it was so dang easy, then Jesus would have never really talked about it. He talked about it because it was a difficult thing to do. And he knew that people would not follow Jesus. You know, he knew what his message was going to take him to. But he did it anyways. And that is so encouraging. It really, really is. To stick by the word of God and to do what is right, regardless of how it has been received by other people. Just having the right kind of relationships with people you meet. It's been a great road trip for us. Sights are wonderful, as all, you know, beautiful. You could see God's creation and things like that. But it was the people that we met along the way, of different races and different cultures, just getting along and stuff. That you didn't have to fight for it, you know. We were just human beings. In love with life, love with God, you know. So again, yeah, we could have understanding of the problems in the world, in our minds, and try to come up with solutions. But God said he will give us the desires of our hearts if we love him, if we follow him. So instead of going around trying to do things in the world to establish ourselves, maybe the word of God, the comforting word of God, the word that gives us strength to continue on in this world, maybe sitting at the feet of a teacher, Jesus Christ, who comforts us, maybe that's the way to go about, you know, fulfilling the desires of our hearts, right? Well, that's what I thought about doing this trip. Anyway, look at this, right? I think I'm near Lancaster. If you know what this rock formation is, what this is called, you can let me know. But I mean, I could look it up on the way out. But I just saw this thing and I thought it was great. I thought I'd make a little video of encouragement. Sit at the feet of Christ. That's something we need to do from time to time. Listen to the comforting words of Jesus and follow him. Love his word, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Maybe not what we think we need in life or what we want, but the desires that we have, he will fulfill. There is a difference, and I'm glad that I was able to kind of recognize it during this trip. Anyways, God bless you, and I'll see you next time.